Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and today I have the great honor of presenting to you Bob Vosseller in Spaced Out, a classic show that has gone through many incarnations, and now we're lucky that it's here. Greetings, Bob. How are you?
Doing well. Happy holidays, everyone.
And to you as well. I'm looking forward to your show. If you need me, just holler.
All righty. Thank you. And my guest tonight is Ann Marie McGinley, my good friend, who I knew would be able to help me with our topic because I decided to do something different tonight. We've always explored the genres of science fiction, horror, comic books, fantasy, um, even gaming at times and other subjects. But I thought, here it is, December 2025. It was we've reached almost the end of the year and it's holiday time. It's time for Hallmark movies and old favorites like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which I was watching at this time last Friday, or I think it was Friday. Yeah, so today is Thursday, so one day off. So that's I've been trying to catch some old favorites, and I don't know if there's anything new out there. But I thought we'd talk about some of our cherished memories. Anne Marie and you and I are we've had many a year and past to watch some of these old favorites and some of the new
Mhm.
ones. And what are some of your classic favorites that you look forward to every year?
Well, of course, Rudolph, which I noticed is your background. Your background
Yeah.
paper is Rudolph. Rudolph was always the one when I was growing up. That was like the first one that set off everything. First, it was the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade that set off everything, and then Rudolph was the second thing coming up, um, and then Frosty the Snowman was the second animated feature. Um, he's now the guy who wrote Rudolph just went right out of my head. Johnny Mark. Johnny Mark, 1964, he wrote that song, and they made it into the animated feature shortly thereafter. Um, but
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
it's almost up to the 60-year mark.
yeah,
I know it hit 50 because I have the anniversary collection, the gold DVD container for it. But it's that really does kick off the season. It is one of the first, if not the first, um, that 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 plays, and it was on NBC, like I said last week. And Emily had to stop me from reciting some of the lines after a while, because I was especially, Herbie, and
the
Emily was
dentist.
taken aback by just how well a voice I did for Herbie. So I said years of practice, and my juvenile side will never end anyway. So the
And
only
that's
thing is
okay. That's what makes you so charming.
that I always love to put together my Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer little sets that I have for Christmas decorations, which I am behind on this year because of our little Thanksgiving getaway and unfortunately my little illness that came back with me. But I just haven't gotten I attempted to get up to the attic and nearly froze my butt off. So I decided to wait a little bit, but I am determined to get the decorations up by the end of this weekend. So,
Yeah. I have my tree up and lights on it, but I don't have any ornaments on it yet. So that's the same thing I'm doing this weekend is let's put some ornaments on this tree. Although
yeah,
Maka, my parrot,
hmm
thinks that it's a bird eating monster and he must scream at it every day because it's a bird eating monster. He's absolutely sure of this. And screaming at it is going to, disarm it. So every night because I turn off all the lights except this a little light in back of me because he has to have it dark so he can sleep. And that's actually the truth. He has to have it dark so he can sleep. And but no, with the tree lit, no, no, it's a monster. And I keep telling him it's just a tree with lights on it. It's okay. No, no, we must scream at it. We must scream at it.
Well, I think where you put your decorations is always a strategic decision. Like, we could never have our tree downstairs, not with the dogs. They would, or even with the cats, because they would either, knock it down, play with the lights,
Mm-hmm.
you use it as a fire hydrant or something, um, or chew it. That was the real danger. We really thought they'd choose, some of the things, and they say oh, the silver foil, the stuff you put around it, that could be a problem for dogs. So, we
Yeah.
moved everything up. For the longest time, we didn't have a tree, and then last year, for the first time in a while, I've had the tree up, and we put it up in the guest room, and I once again hung all those nice Star Trek ornaments that I have that were sitting there, and
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I was happy with that. Um, I'm wearing my elf um, shirt tonight that I think I got at the tail end of holiday season. So it's for the first time. But Elf is one of my favorites, but not one of the big favorites. I wouldn't say. I mean, it's fun, but I think there's other actual live movies. The Grinch is a big favorite of Emily's, the original animated one, not so much the movie, but I enjoy the movie as well. And of course, there's the Christmas Story with
Mm-hmm.
so many favorites, and I got to interview oh, who was it? Uh, the lead character's buddy who put his tongue on the pole, and it froze.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he came to a comic book show in this area. Uh, I can't believe that was a few years back already. But
Wow.
and then they did a sequel to it. I think I saw that last year or the year before, where they brought the family back, and the mom was played by somebody else, but still it was cute. Clearly, they couldn't surpass the original. That will always be a favorite. And of course, one channel, it might be the USA channel, has that on as a 24-hour marathon thing. They just repeat it over and over again. You know,
Oh, geez.
which is kind of fun, but a little bit much, But
Yeah. 24 hours. Yeah.
yeah. And of course, we remember things as innocuous as for those of us that would watch Channel 11 on Christmas Eve, you had the Yule log, which was nothing more than
Oh,
a
yeah.
a burning Yule log with music. Um, and I thought that was, amazing that it became such a tradition. And it's probably somewhere, at some hour
On
on some
some
channel.
channel.
Um,
You know what
I
I
remember.
remember? It was a commercial when I was a kid. And it
Mhm.
must have been non during Rudolph or something like that. But it was a commercial for an electric razor. It had three heads on it, and it had an elf coming down like a sled. The
Yeah,
razor
well,
was like a sled.
Little Santa was going down those
Yeah,
hills.
yeah.
That's a classic commercial. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Was it Norel or something like that? Because
Norel, because it sounded
yeah,
like Noel.
yep. Because they said the
Yep.
first several letters says Noel right there. Yeah, it's amazing the things that we remember from our childhood and stuff. Because that was quite a while ago. That had to be in the
That was,
70s.
yeah, we were real little.
Yeah.
That may have even been in the 60s.
Yeah, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Um, and What did I watch? I watched last weekend. I DVR'd it because I hadn't seen it in quite a while, and maybe I never saw it at all. There was MeTV, home of Svengoolie, had
Gooey.
two half-hour animated specials. One was Scrooge, another version of
Okay.
Scrooge, and it was not one that it had the voice of Alistair Sim from probably the best version of a Christmas Carol slash Scrooge ever. But and they didn't just take his voice from the movie. I believe, he must have provided his voice for this production. And to see, I was curious how they were going to condense it down to only a half hour, and they did an amazing job, and the animation was quite amazing. It had a lot of detail and had a lot of movement to it, almost as if you're watching the drawings,
Oh, cool.
yeah, it had a cool effect. It was very much, if you remember the animation of The Hobbit, the original Hobbit cartoon or animated special, it was
Mm-hmm.
very similar to that. And I thought they did a fantastic job with it. I did not erase it off my DVR. Um, that was highly entertaining, and they really did an amazing job with doing it within 30 minutes, less than that if you count commercial time. And the next
Cool.
thing was that, and I didn't even remember this. Do you remember that they did an animated holiday special for the Little Rascals?
Oh, no, I don't remember that at all.
No, when I saw that, it was like, well, wait a minute. One I know there was, to my knowledge, I don't remember a Little Rascals, an actual Little Rascals holiday episode. Maybe
Mm-mm.
I'm wrong, but so I knew it couldn't be that. Plus, I saw that little just advertisement saying it was animated, so I couldn't wait
I
to, I actually watched that first. I mean, I love all versions of Scrooge, but I had to watch The Little Rascals first. And, they obviously they didn't have the voices of the original. They had Alfalfa, Darla, Spanky, Porky, and Stymie, and Pete the dog. Um, and it was set in the 30s, 40s, and it was a very, simple story about how Porky and Spanky, they had a club. It wasn't the female, the woman haters club. It was some other thing. They called themselves, I don't know, the Gift Rangers or something like that, the Holiday Rangers or something. And then their call sign was ho 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 and all this kind of stuff. And Darla was a member, like I said. Um, but the whole premise of the story was that they were trying to figure out what they were going to get for Christmas. And they overheard Spanky's mom, who's apparently was a single mom, um, who works as a maid for some rich woman, order a blue comet, but it was not the blue comet electric train set that rather Porky and Spanky were hoping for, thinking that was going to be their gift. It was
Yeah.
a Blue Comet vacuum cleaner that was for the rich lady who they worked for, so that she could do the vacuuming at the place, yeah, as a maid. And she was going to buy herself a coat. But since she realized that they had misheard, because they went to a department store and there was kind of a cranky Santa in front of the store, um, who turned out to be a good guy, wasn't really cranky after all. Um, she realized that they thought that they were going to get the Blue Comet. So rather than disappoint her sons, she took back the coat and was able to buy this very expensive electronic, um, the electric train set.
Fancy.
And later on, Spanky and Porky realize, especially after their mom gets sick, from the cold, that, that she turned in the coat and all that because they talked to somebody at the department store. So somehow um, Santa is able to wangle away that they can, she ends up exchanging her coat, but they end up getting the coat back, and Santa somehow is able to get them the train set. So they end up with both the coat and the blue comet, and it was
The
very
train set.
cute, a little contrived. Alfalfa was very funny because he tried to sing, and the person who provided the voice,
Yeah.
did a great job, and Darla was all cheery and Stymie. I think it should have been Buckwheat and not Stymie at that point in time, but that's just a quibble of maybe they
Right.
chose Stymie because he was, you know, I don't know, more distinctive or more well remembered. I don't know. But no, it was a cute little thing. I didn't remember it from the past, so that was kind of a, you know, something different.
Cool. And Svengoolie, he can dig up the most unusual films.
Well,
So
yeah, Svengoolie usually on the holidays things, he usually digs out Santa Claus, um, Santa Claus meets the Martians or whatever was called, that
yeah.
which it has the distinction of having a very, very young Pia Sedora in it. Remember Pia, the
Oh,
little, yeah, she
yeah.
she was a kid, she was a child actress in that movie. Probably doesn't want
Oh,
to mention
wow.
that. It's an awful movie, although I understand that unlike tradition, Svengoolie's not showing it this month. But
Wow.
I'm sure it's being shown somewhere, much to the horror of people everywhere. It's such a bad movie that it's good. You know,
Yep. It's gone into that realm so bad that it's good.
yeah, yeah. It's. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't end up on Nightmare Theater on that syndicated um there's a public PBS.
Mystery Science Theater.
Well, that too. I'm sure that's so they wouldn't even need to really rift it, change the soundtrack because just leaving the soundtrack in would be enough of a laugh, you know. But then, of course, there's the classics like Miracle on 31st Street. Is it 31st Street?
34th Street.
34th Street. I always get that mixed up. And there's at
One
least
of those numbers.
three versions of that. There was, of course, the classic original with the young Natalie
Hmm.
Wood as the child, and then there was a 1970s version with hmm, whatever his name is. His last name was Hart, and he would later be one of the first hosts of Good Morning America. That's all I remember about that one. But Sebastian Cabot, better known as Mr. French from Family Affair,
Family Affair.
was
Yeah.
was Santa Claus. Was Santa Claus, and if we remember Sebastian Cabot, it wasn't the first time that he had a white beard that we got to see because he was in an episode of The Twilight Zone where a gangster, um, you know, uh, thinks he's in heaven when actually he's in the other place, and he gets everything he wants. And Sebastian Cabot is the one who provides everything, and he's dressed in a entirely white outfit with the white beard and everything. And he says, the gangster says to him, I don't think I'm in the right place. I think I'm supposed to be in the other place, meaning hell. And Sebastian Cabot's classic line to him is, "What makes you think you're not in the other place?" Meaning, yeah, you're in
Yeah.
the right place. This is hell. You don't get you get everything you want. There's no challenge. So, but he was a much better Santa Claus, I thought. He was, he was good in that. And then there was the more recent and that's not even more recent. That's a good number of years ago. The latest version of Miracle on 34th Street, which had our friend from Jurassic Park, the actor who was the main benefactor for Jurassic Park, played Santa. I don't know the name of the actor, but um,
Not Jeff Goldblum.
no, 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 no. Although
Although that would be funny.
that would be funny. I mean, he right now he's the wizard in the Wizard of Oz kind of
Yeah.
early version because he's in Wicked. Um, so I don't know if usually around this time too that they show Wizard of Oz, which is not a holiday movie, but is full of magic. So I wonder if Wicked
Hmm.
will start to become associated. The Wicked movies,
Yeah.
will get associated with the holiday
And
season.
Sound of Music they usually play around this time of year too.
Yes, yes, because that, oh, and what's the song that we love, that she does that really wasn't a holiday song, but now now it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
favorite my, favorite
These are
things
a few
is
of my
these are
favorite things.
my
Yeah.
favorite things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's always on. And when Emily and I would go and visit my in-laws, and that was on, everything stopped and we had to watch the entire movie.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So,
And my mother would sing all the songs when they came on. I remember
oh,
that. My
when I was a
mother
kid,
could
my mom
sing.
would as well. That my parents loved that, and they would watch it as well. And they had the original uh, album with the soundtrack on it.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so Julie
I just
Andrews
found
and
that in a box of old LPs that I found,
oh
and
wow,
it had the Sound of Music in there.
oh wow, and
Things you're not expecting to find. And there it
yeah,
is.
yeah. It's a Wonderful Life. That's always a classic. And
Yes.
sometimes NBC, I remember a few years ago, NBC aired that pretty early on in the holiday season. I don't know if that's going to be running somewhere. I would imagine it will, with just about every version of Scrooge. I always look for that. The
Hmm.
George C. Scott version. Patrick Stewart version, I don't mind that one. It's not one of my favorites. I was expecting better, having followed his narration, and he did his one man musical playing all the parts, and he
Hmm.
did a audio version, which back in the days when you had audio, cassette players in your car and not DVD players, and now you don't even have that. Um, I would play that. I would dig that out every holiday season and have it running. I'd have to have that you know playing in my car with Patrick Stewart's wonderful voice. But I didn't find
Hmm.
when they got around to doing the video production, him. And I think Jennifer Love Hewitt played. Who did she play? Did she play Belle or Ben? She was in it. She was in it. I think she was in the Patrick Stewart version as very young. Um, but I don't know. I just it wasn't bad. It just didn't rank up as good as the George C. Scott version in my book, and nothing to
Yeah.
me will ever beat the Alistair Sim version. Uh,
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah. That's a classic for a reason.
I know a lot of people like the Finney, what's his name, Finney, but that was musical. It broke out into song, and I think that's in a category of itself, you know.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
um Yeah, that's been done many, many times. And then there was also the I want to call it the Fonzie version of it, American Christmas Carol, which was essentially the same story, and it had Henry Winkler as, the Scrooge character, but not called Scrooge. It was based in America and maybe a little bit later in time. But it was, you don't see that too often anymore. I haven't seen that rerun. Um, but I would love to see that again. It's been many, many years. Um, Something that I just also well watched part of, but I'd love to watch all of it. Remember that the Homecoming, which was served as the pilot, but wasn't really meant as a pilot at the time for the Waltons, 1971,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
recently also aired on either MeTV or one of those stations, and that was kind of fun to watch.
Yep. Yep.
I
I
had
remember watching
forgotten.
that.
Yeah, I mean that started it all, and while I knew that Patricia Neal was playing the mom, and
Mhm.
that the father was played by a pretty well-known actor, um, but whose name escapes me. I knew the parents were not played. I had forgotten that Will Geer, the grandfather, was not there, that he had not, he had someone else had a very famous actor too, and I can't think of his name, uh, played the part of the grandfather.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it was, and the house was different. It was not the familiar house. I had forgotten that, and the music wasn't there either, the same theme. But
Right.
young John Boy and the whole, it was set in 1933, so they would go on and
Middle of the Depression.
yeah, yeah. And that was the whole premise, was the father had to leave to go a distance away to get a job that would be able to support them all. And that the whole
Yep.
thing was he only shows up, in the last 5 minutes with all the presents and everything. And Patricia Neal is so worried, the mother is so worried that he's not coming back because, there was a bus accident and he was supposed to be on that
Yep.
bus.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he had to
Yep.
hitchhike his way there and all that. So, you know, that definitely, obviously was set in Christmas time, and you know, that's usually run on some stations, so that was cool. But what are some of your other favorites that you like to see?
Well, I love the debate about Die Hard. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I love
I,
that debate.
I saw that on
Well,
Facebook
is it?
today was a click. There was a clip of it with you know with Bruce Willis, and he's saying he's at an awards program, and where they're honoring him, and he's saying, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It's a Bruce Willis movie. Yeah. So I mean, I always
So
thought
silly.
it was a funny debate. Um, there are movies that are set during the holiday time, but does that make them a Christmas movie or not?
A Christmas movie?
If if
Well,
Die
I
Hard if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then last year's Nosferatu, which is definitely set during Christmas time, they went out of their way to add snow and the Christmas tree and everything to it, then that too is a
it's a
Christmas
Christmas movie.
movie. A blood-sucking, vampire, thing, who ends up
Definitely a Christmas movie.
killing kids, like no, no, I don't think that's appropriate. Um, But there's also Krampus. There's the Krampus movie, which clearly
which
is.
actually is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that is. I would now that one I would say is a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
Um,
because Krampus is all about Christmas.
yeah. Granted,
You know?
Krampus doesn't like the naughty kids. He doesn't just put them on a list. He puts them in a bag. He puts those naughty
Yep.
kids in the bag, and takes them away. So yeah, I still I'm looking for a Krampus Christmas ornament. I want a Krampus Christmas ornament to put on my tree. I just think that would be cool. All the weird stuff that I
Emily would
have.
love it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure she would. She'd be like, she's like, put that in the
I
back
could
of the
just see the
tree.
reaction.
But the tree that I have that we spent all of a whopping $12 for, which has the lights built in, which we got last year and I got to use it. You can move the actual tree around so that you can, you know, you don't have to like
Get
go
to
in
the
the back
back.
of the tree and put the ornaments. You can actually just
Oh, cool.
spin it. Yeah. It was like, wow, all this
Cool.
for $12 and the lights are built in. You don't have to put the lights on. Uh, and it's of a reasonable size. So, I was very happy with it. You still have to kind of assemble it, but it doesn't take that much. It's not like what they're advertising these days for the umbrella kind of tree that you just,
Yeah.
you know, that I think,
Yeah. My tree, I got it and it would had LED lights, but the LED lights burned out really, really quickly. I mean,
uh,
like a couple of hours and they were done. But that's okay because
oh,
I had two strands of lights, 100 light bulbs each. This is only a 3 foot tree with 200 lights on it.
oh,
I think it's
geez.
got enough lights on it.
These have multiple settings. They twinkle, they can be all white, and then they're multicolor. And it's depending on I
Cool.
don't know how long that's all going to last, and I hope it lasts for a while. But I thought it was the coolest thing last year, and I was very happy with it. Um, and
Very cool.
I can't wait to put it up. With and me, I had to have all the starships put in like classic, next gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, few in the
Yep.
Enterprise, and then of course have the TARDIS on the other side, and you know, then
Of
there was no room
course.
left for
Of
the any of
course.
the superheroes. So but yeah, yeah. So I can't wait to get the decorations up, and it's just fun to while you're doing it to like listen to some of these Christmas specials and movies. I will admit to have dipping in once in a while to some of the Hallmark movies, which pretty much have the same plot. They're just recycled in a
Yeah.
different way. It's a different town, and it's a different young
And
couple, and
different people, but it's
yeah,
the same plot.
yeah, yeah.
So you always know boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back, happy ending. They all get married.
Right. And there's always that 15-minute stupid misunderstanding that almost ruins
Yes.
everything. But thankfully, somehow they come to their senses and realize, oh, that's not what happened. It was that. And yes. And oh, and you're not leaving after all. And they live happily ever after.
It's very realistic.
Yeah.
Very realistic.
No, there's a whole subgenre of that of the royals, like when the girl who's the decorator happens to decorate for some prince who never tells you he's a prince. He just shows up because he wants to run away from his responsibilities, and he falls in love with her. And of course, the prince had a woman back in his native country who wanted to marry him, and so she tries to steal him back, and of course that's not going to work. So, it's yeah. I have a few of those that I DVR'd that haven't watched yet, as if I really need to at this point because, Hallmark, they're probably running them 24/7 now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I believe they are, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I liked one with
Ugh.
Jane Seymour, and like sort of the older couple, and that was kind of cute. And she ended up being on a motorcycle and everything else, and uh, of course I adore her in anything she's in. So
Mhm.
it was cute. Um, you mentioned the Frosty movies, of course the classic first Frosty.
The first
Which,
one.
unlike some of the Rankin Baskin ones, which I think somehow I think that was Rankin Baskin, or at least it was
Yep.
originally. But Frosty has the distinction of some of his were not produced by the same people, and some of the sequels don't even make sense, or did they have to make sense for a holiday special? But they're never run together because they're owned by different people or something like that, which is very weird.
Oh,
I was unaware of that until last year when I thought, oh, well, why, which one came first? And I mean, beyond the first one, what was
right.
the the ones. But I did watch. There was one that aired recently, and it had the son of the original magician, if you remember him,
Hmm.
that caused all the problem in the first place. And they even gave an explanation of what happened and stuff like that about the hat. They kind of changed the origin a little bit. Um, The voice and animation was very similar. Um, so those are always, cute. And of course, there's animated ones like, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer,
Oh,
which came out
yes.
in the,
Forgot
I
about
think,
that one.
the 70s, late, that when the song was kind of popular at that point, and
Hmm. Yep.
they decided to bend, and then of course
That was
know,
that
go
was
ahead.
the first Christmas song we played on our on the music group. The first one this year was Grandma Got Run Over by a
Oh,
Reindeer.
yeah, that's cute. That's a cute one. Then we have others that some people just can't stand. Although I seem to like them all. The donkey song. What was it? The
Um,
Christmas donkey.
oh yeah, what is his name?
Oh,
Um,
and he even goes, yeah.
yeah,
Dominic the
yeah.
donkey. It's Dominic. It's
Dominic the
Dominic
donkey.
the donkey. Da dun da dun da. Uh, oh, and there's some other
I
ones
expect
that you dread hearing, but at the same time love hearing.
Mariah Carey. Oh
Oh,
no, not Mariah Carey.
yeah, Mariah Carey's the very
No,
first
no, no.
Christmas song that I heard because they were setting up for the holidays at the resort, that we were at, Emily and I, for Thanksgiving, and that was playing, and that was all that was playing. It was like we have one standard
Oh,
Christmas song, and it's Mariah Carey. So we heard it a few
oh,
mornings in a row. And
I'm
I
so
think it was on.
sorry.
It was on again when they actually lit the tree, which was on December 1st. So I thought it was ironic that my very first Christmas tree lighting, that I often cover for work, and I love covering Christmas tree lightings. Um, got one tomorrow, in fact. But the very first one I got to observe, not for work purposes, but was, in a different country, and was in the whole center of the lobby, and I thought it was a beautiful tree. and they had the staff dressed as, as elves and stuff, and people had their picture taken, and I was just treating it like I would any other Christmas tree I was lighting. I was taking pictures, and there was parents there
Cool.
with their little kids, and I'm like, I almost like stopped to like, can I get your name so I could write this down? And like, no, no, we don't have a paper that far away. So I did send it into work as a joke and said, this will be our centerpiece for the Rio Yucatan Times. So. But very cute, very cute. And then there's the holiday themed episodes that we always love. That are, you know, stations like MeTV. Again, boy, you'd think we're being sponsored by MeTV because I keep mentioning them. But they're airing all the Christmas episodes on some of their shows that
Oh
are
yeah.
that are all weekly, like Love Boat, you know.
Yep.
And I'm sure the one on Andy Griffith only had one Christmas episode. I'm very surprised in its
Oh,
eight
I
year,
did not
nine
know
year
that.
history. Yeah, it only had one, and it was on its first season. Um,
Wow.
I know it's the first season because Eleanor Donahue, who you recall from Star Trek, from
Hmm.
the Changeling, the she ended up merging with the alien when they were marooned with Zephram Cochrane.
Hmm.
But she was only on not even a full season of the first season of Andy Griffith, and she was in that episode, and it had a kind of a Grinchy guy who was a recurring character on Andy Griffith, and he wants to put he wants the one of the uh, characters, the residents of Mayberry, who's a father and who has two kids, and he wants him to be arrested for moonshining. And even though it was a small amount, so Andy he's forced to put him in. But of course, they have a big party at the jail, and then he feels left out, the miserly guy. So he's doing things that will get him thrown in jail, and finally they put him in, and then he ends up drinking from the jug, and then he falls asleep. So it's also another classic Christmas episode. As was the Happy Days episode. Do you remember that one?
Oh yes. Yep. Yep.
Which was the same. I loved how they took the same episode and literally recycled it because it was the original episode, and then they took the episode and Arnold, the original Arnold, Pat Morita,
Hmm.
Richie Orfanzi tells Arnold about his, the year that he had Christmas with the Cunninghams. And
Cool.
and then if that wasn't enough, remember Arnold left to do a show, Mr. T and Tina, that didn't go very well. Um,
Yep.
so Al replaced him, is owner
I
of
remember that.
Arnold's. And Al,
Yep.
they did the same thing with Al. Al was, talked about Christmas or something, and they said, "Oh, cheer up! I'll tell you about the time when Fonzie tells him about the time when he had the Christmas." So they recycled a recycled episode. I thought that was very clever. Um, you know, so the same Christmas special was done. The Christmas episode was done three times at least, and I'm sure there's another Christmas episode. And of course, Laverne and Shirley. I love the Laverne and Shirley one because they end up at a hospital, um, and not a hospital, a hospital for people, um, you know, with certain issues, and they actually it's a heartwarming story because one, it works against the stigma of that, but at the same time, it's very funny, and it's also has a lot of musical numbers, that Laverne and Shirley and all that. And I don't know if you remember that episode, but that was the only one I remember from Laverne and Shirley as far as Christmas. But it was a very
Cool.
well put together episode, and it had a message about it that I think, that we could all appreciate. Um,
Nice.
and
Nice.
what are some of the other favorite Christmas episodes, from TV shows that you've seen? I'm sure Buffy.
Oh boy.
Buffy must have had one.
Who what?
Buffy the Vampire. I'm
Oh
thinking of
yes, Buffy.
all kinds of Christmas episodes.
Yep.
The
I'm
past.
sure that like Magnum PI had a Christmas
Yeah,
special and all of those shows in there. Uh,
I think I remember a Wonder Woman episode uh where it's almost seemed like it was trying to be both a Christmas episode and a St. Patrick's Day episode because of all people, Frank Gorshin, who we remember as the Riddler on
Riddler.
Batman, he played the toy maker, and he was a criminal. He was trying to. Yeah, I think he ended up building a Wonder Woman robot or something like that. It was a ridiculous episode, but I think it was set around the Christmas time. But he was Irish, and or am I getting my episodes mixed up? There might have been a story that was around Christmas time that had to do with a guy that they suspected was a leprechaun. So that might have been weird too. So I might be mixing
Okay.
up but talk about mixing the two things together.
Oh, Maka
Uh,
was laughing.
oh, there was so many that and of course Love Boat.
Oh,
I'm
Love
sure
Bug, of course.
Fantasy Island must have had a Christmas
Oh yeah.
episode. Which, by the way, again, another plug to MeTV. I heard that Fantasy Island is coming to MeTV. It's a lineup in the new year. You know.
They do really good getting shows that you go, oh, I remember this show. I want to watch it.
Yeah,
Sometimes you
yeah,
go, oh, I remember this show and I'm not going anywhere near it. But they but they get the really good ones. They
yeah,
do a good job of that.
yeah. There's a lot of old favorites that you get to watch all over again, and then they go away for a while, and then you're like, when they do come back again, you've forgotten them all. So it's you know
Hmm.
it's pretty good when they come back. Um, so uh, what are some of the
Yeah.
other either TV shows or TV specials? We didn't talk about that. Remember the days when you would always have some kind of variety show, they called them a TV special. You would have either Dolly Parton or Barbara
Yeah.
Mandrell or and
Right.
then
Right.
Donnie and
Sonny
Marie
and
would
Cher
have
had theirs.
Cher,
Donnie
Sonny
and
and Cher,
Marie.
and then
Donnie and
Cher
Marie
by
really
herself.
had a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Red
Cher by
Skelton.
herself. Yep.
Yeah.
Those were good too. My
Um,
grandmother
or-
used to get really excited about Cher's shows. And then she would sit there and say, look at that outfit she's got on. She needs to put on clothes. And I'm like, well, why did you get so excited about watching this? And then you sit here and criticize. What were you expecting? It's Cher.
Yeah. I mean, that was the appeal. Cher was not only just, and she's still with us, but a wonderful singer and but she also did some really interesting numbers with some of her songs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
there were almost music videos before there were music videos in the way she did skits and the comedy and remember Carol Burnett also did some Christmas specials,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know there was a Dick Van Dyke, not necessarily as a, although he had his own variety show too, Van Dyke and Company, but that only lasted a year. But his original Dick Van Dyke show certainly had a Christmas episode to it, because
Hmm.
I
Yep.
vaguely remember him dressed as Santa along with Mary Tyler Moore and some of the other cast
Yeah.
members.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and I know MASH must have done a Christmas, probably more than
For
one.
Christmas. Oh yeah, several of them. Several
Yeah,
of them. So yeah. Yeah, my
and
dad was over in Korea when it was Christmas time. That's funny. He wouldn't go camping because he said he had enough camping in Korea, but yet he would watch MASH.
well, I bet it was nostalgic for him. Like there were, even in the worst of times, there was that camaraderie, and there was things that he could laugh at probably that at the time living through it weren't quite as funny, but now,
Yeah.
probably years later, he could appreciate, like, oh my God, I remember that, or like, um,
And he went to visit his brother who had some medical problem. And he said those surgeons were exactly like the surgeons in MASH, that they didn't care if you were a colonel or a general or anything. They were going to do what they needed to do. And they didn't care about
yeah.
your rank. They just did it, which is
Yeah, because they're
MASH.
doctors, and that was, they weren't soldiers. They were doctors, and their job was to patch people up and
Saved lives.
keep them alive, and under terrible
Yeah.
situations of lack of supplies, and bombings, while they're performing operations and things
Yeah.
like that. Um,
And yeah, they did have Christmas shows for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
Some
MASH was
were pretty
was classic. Yeah.
touching. But yeah.
All, certainly All in the Family had theirs, I would imagine.
Hmm.
Uh, it's been a while since I've seen, I mean, I've seen All in the Family, and of course the follow-up to it, Archie Bunker's Place. So, but I haven't seen the holiday episodes lately, so I'm sure that will probably be coming. Um,
And the Jeffersons probably did since it was a spin-off of
oh
All in
yeah,
the
yeah.
Family.
I would imagine all the Norman
Yeah.
Lear shows did something, and
Y-
I think there was a Starsky and Hutch Christmas episode. There must have been. Um,
And CIS also does Christmas.
yeah. Did Charlie's Angels ever do something like that? I don't remember. Um,
I don't either.
I know the
I
Six
would
Million
tend to
Dollar Man
say,
did,
yeah.
and the Bob Cratchit. It was kind of a takeoff on Scrooge, and Bob. Dick Sargent. The second Darren. He was the poor
Hmm.
father who was trying, with his kids. And I think Adam Rich might have been in the episode, who was the young kid from Eight Is Enough. Um,
Hmm.
and Ray Walston, the Martian, my favorite
Yeah.
Martian. He was
And the
the second
gardener
Darren.
from the
Yeah, and
Academy.
of course the gardener from Boothby, from Next
Yes.
Gen. Up, we've got 5 minutes left. I see the giant hand of Hercules coming out of the screen. So wow, I was wondering if we'd have enough material, and we certainly did. Of course, you get the two of us together, and anything we can,
Anything. We'll
yeah,
just talk and talk and talk.
Well, maybe
yeah.
invite you on our Stargate show that's coming up, Anne Marie. Are you a Stargate fan?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh, you should join us for that, Anne Marie.
Yeah, the first two are booked, but I will keep you on the list, the guest list, and I'll get you on there as quickly as I can.
Oh, cool. That would be good. Thank you.
I want to thank you both for taking me down memory lane. I believe I'm a little older than both of you. I'm 60, I'll be 67 on my next birthday. But I've
Oh, we're
experienced,
the same age.
same age. I've
Yep.
experienced these shows and movies in my life too. So thank you for taking me on a stroll down memory lane. I really appreciate
Santa Claus Lane.
it. And how can people enter your world, Bob?
Oh, they could reach out to me at beamaboard at AOL.com, or reach out through our USS Challenger, my club's Facebook page, or usschallenger.org, or region7.com, which is the Starfleet Region 7 webpage. And I'd love to hear from you. Let you. Um, I always enjoy hearing from anybody. So, you know,
And Anne Marie, how can people get into your universe?
You can email me at wowforthehome, all one word, at gmail.com. And you can also get in touch with me through Britannic, the USS Britannic.com. I'm on that ship. That's a ship out of Long Island. And yeah, and also Region 7, as Bob said, that's another way of getting in touch with me too. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. And in case I don't speak with you, have a very happy holiday and a wonderful new year. And I look forward to connecting again very soon. And Bob, I'll be talking to you tomorrow. So
absolutely.
I get a chance to wish you happy holidays a few times, I think, by the end of the year. And
You as well. You and Athena as well.
and I'm very blessed to have your show here on this channel, and I'm glad that it's survived from being a cable show to being a live show to being this, and made
Yeah,
experience much more growth and evolution in the years to come.
sounds great. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Take care, guys, and thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay. And now I need to put on my glasses because they keep moving the button on me. There it is. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.